Home for the holidays? Shit, this never goes well. Every year, you say you're not going to talk politics, and every year, you find yourself pit in a mortal battle against the ones you love. Now you hold on there, partner. You've been marching with that Occupy crowd, haven't you? And your family and you don't see eye to eye on politics, religion, sports? Well, that's a tough spot, amigo. But you've roped bigger steers than this. Now buck up. I'm going to help you through it. Now get your tuchus back to that door and take a gander through the mail slot. Now, the first thing you're gonna need to do is to get your old man on your side. See, your pops is likely to say,
"Son, the thought of you down there bathing in public fountains and hanging out with a bunch of drum-beating deadbeats, well, it really chaps my butt."
Now don't take that bait. The minute you start hollering, you're done for. You want to get these folks on your side, and nobody changes the way they see the world over dinner. Everybody likes a good story, so tell them one. First tell him what this thing's about in terms he'll understand.
What have you got to say?
It's about fairness.
And it's not about a bunch of hippies, it's about the vast majority of Americans, including everyone at this table. Over the last 30 years, the wealthiest 1% have done well, really well. And that's all good and fine, but things haven't gotten much better for the rest of us. In fact, for some, it's gotten a lot worse.
Not because those highest on the hog have earned their billions. It's that the rules have been written in their favor. But we'll get to that. For now, hopefully your father sees he's got a horse in this here race.
You have a horse in this here race.
I'm proud of you, son. I'm proud of my son.
But you watch your ass, buddy. That limbaugh-loving, sumbitch brother-in-law of yours, he's got to burn his saddle now.
Listen here, little brother from my wife's mother. All that fairness stuff sounds like a handout scheme to me. And I'm on a rocket ship, headed to a planet called 1%. And you're not coming. You know what?
He'll go on and on about how he's planning on riding the private sector all the way to the top, just to sitting pretty with all the other job creators and so on.
It's just simple math.
Try speaking his language. This jerky here watches the World Series of Poker like salvation depends on it. Tell him that
the current financial system is like playing poker against a guy who's got a stack a zillion times as big as yours. Your odds are really bad as it is, but it gets worse because the guy you're playing against is also the dealer and the house. He gets all the chips he wants and then sells them back to you at a huge markup.
you can't even afford to play at this table. The bank's got $7.4 trillion for free, and then they loaned it back to the government at 3%, and then back to you and me at 5,
10, 30%.
Now he'll understand that the deck is stacked, and that ain't fair.
Horseshoe crabs don't wear applesauce.
Grandma's not ready for the pasture yet, but she's 2 legs short of a stable stool these days. All that talk about the feds has got her on a rampage about big government, big brother, and who knows what else.
Photojumpers don't belong in this country.
In this here story we're telling, we've got a premise, a setting, and a protagonist. You better write in the villain before Granny does it for you. Now don't go banker bashing, she likes that teller boy down the street. Tell her this isn't about bad people.
Grimmy, it's not about bad people, it's about a bad system. And it's not about big business or the government. It's about how the two have been tied together. Most people on Wall Street in Washington have good intentions, but can't act on them in the current system. They need to be empowered and incentivized to do the right thing.
Freeing up good people to be good.
Okay.
You might even get a hard candy and a nickel out of this. Now, your old lady typically steers clear of politicking, but now something's got her goat.
Look, son, I get it, that it's not fair, but what are you going to do about it? Overthrow the government and burn down the whole Wall Street? I agree that there's a problem, but you guys don't have any solutions, sweetie.
Time for a metaphor. Tell her fixing up the political system is like remodeling a house.
First, you've got to identify what's working and what's not. And then you fix the bad stuff and keep the good stuff. There might be some dust and noise and inconvenience in the short term, but when you're done, you've got something more effective, efficient, and a lot easier on the eyes. We can start this remodeling project by getting big money out of our elections and admitting that corporations aren't people.
She'll like that. Boom. Science.
You're so smart.
I'm proud of my son.
You know what? Cheers to my family. I love you guys.
You're a good son, son.
You ready to get in there and occupy that dinner table?